Hello all YouTubers, I'm the Weather Dude. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you all for tuning back into this weather presentation for May 27th, 2020. Before I get on with today's video, however, I would ask that you please do subscribe because sadly, tons of my watch time has been coming from unsubscribed viewers. We are on our way to our next goal of 600 subscribers, and thank you guys so much, by the way, for 500 subscribers. Let's get to our next goal of 600 subscribers. Alright, so please do subscribe, and also, this applies to every single one of you. Please watch the whole video as well as liking and sharing the video. Thank you. Now let's get on with today's video. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about how Tropical Storm Bertha has just formed about an hour ago and is making landfall as we speak on the coast of South Carolina. We're going to be tracking its effects on the coast of South Carolina. So if you haven't already, please consider checking out my June 2020 forecast right there in the top right corner of your screen. What will June be like for your location? Please consider checking that video out after this video. Now let's get started. Alright, this storm does have sustained winds of 45 miles an hour and possibly could be closer to 50, as you guys will see later in the tropical tidbits maps. Alright? It's making landfall. We have tropical storm warnings now for Charleston and the coast of South Carolina. But once it makes landfall, though, as you can see, it's pretty much going to be a tropical depression as it makes landfall. But nonetheless, heavy rainfall will still be a threat. All right, it's going to move up South Carolina into North Carolina, still a tropical depression. All right, and yeah, so there's your kind of like your line of track. All right, they don't put a 5-day track out. Okay, they just put this is the smallest cone they have, or the largest cone that they have, because it's pretty much going to weaken very quickly. So once it makes landfall, it moves up, and not to mention it's going to be moving near the Smoky Mountains. So that's pretty much going to erase its existence pretty quickly. Alright, so here's Tropical Storm Bertha. Now, tropical tidbits here, they say at 8 o'clock the winds are 45 knots, which is about 50 miles an hour. And we'll show you the satellite loop as well. But pressure is 1,007 millibars, so some pretty low pressures here. Circulation is 100 nautical miles across, so the radius there is 100 nautical miles, and the maximum wind is 20 nautical miles. So the area of wind, right in that area of strongest thunderstorms. Alright, so it's not very organized. Obviously, it's not a full-blown hurricane, but it is a tropical storm nonetheless. And I'm sorry that it's just sped up. It actually helps it load faster when you speed up the satellite. That's too slow now. Anyway, so here is Tropical Storm Bertha now. Alright, and you can see some very heavy thunderstorms, some very cold cloud tops just starting to bubble up here. Alright, and so the coast of South Carolina is getting some pretty heavy rainfall right now. Not looking quite as circular as it did before. There is some rotation, but it's very hard to see. But it did have some rotation earlier this morning. But there is definitely something on the coast of South Carolina. We could see some water spouts. So some tornadoes that come in off the water and potentially come on land. But like I said, regardless of if it's a 70-mile-an-hour tropical storm, a 40-mile-an-hour tropical storm, which is most likely going to be 45 to 50-mile-an-hour winds, the rainfall threat still exists. Why? Because look at our sea surface temperature anomalies. They are above average. Alright, this is what happened with Arthur too. We figured it was going to develop, and then because of the Gulf Stream, again, that's why Bertha also formed. It didn't track along the Gulf Stream, but the Gulf Stream did help to really strengthen that storm because it was above average water temperatures. Alright, earlier this morning we had water temperatures of just about 80 degrees. As this moved on the South Carolina coast, however, the water temperatures have dropped to the upper 70s, but that upper 70s isn't going to weaken the storm, but it'll kind of help it to maintain its strength, at least at this level. If you put like upper 70s water temperatures on a Category 5 hurricane, it might weaken it a little bit. But at tropical storm, it's just like, it's kind of usual. So it'll help to maintain its strength, but it won't be strengthening pretty much any more than it is now. Alright, here is the latest update here as of 13Z. And there's your low center right there, getting ready to come onto the coast of South Carolina. Alright, here are the tracks. Alright, now the tracks are going to vary potentially between the models. So if you look, it is here, and some models do take it more west, some to Ohio. A lot of them do track it up past western North Carolina and then moving through the northeast. Alright, so this black line here kind of represents like the sum of all the spaghetti models here. Alright, so there it goes, up middle Pennsylvania, up through New York, and that's where the black line does kind of track it. That's like the sum of all the spaghetti models there from the GEPS tracks. Here's the GEFS models. Alright, these do take it a little bit farther west. Alright, so here we go. South Carolina through western North Carolina, and up to western Pennsylvania, up near the Canada border, and it could do some re-strengthening, but it won't be a tropical low once it starts re-strengthening. If it does, it'll just be like a regular low that'll probably just strengthen and move up through Canada and out of South Carolina's existence. But this will produce a lot of rain, so let's get into the models here. All right, here's the NAM model. Now the NAM model, like, this is the 12Z update. All right, so it's not really gonna have some updates on the strength, but the track will be accurate. All right, so here is some strong winds. All right, it makes landfall on the coast of South Carolina with some pretty heavy rainfall. All right, and then it kind of, here's your band, your what we call eye wall with the storm system, kind of moving to the north of the system as it moves through South Carolina in through western North Carolina. All right, still some remnants right here. So some tropical, still got some tropical rains moving to West Virginia, and then the jet stream could pick it up, maybe move it up to the northeast. We will have to see. Now the NAM model with the cyclonic vorticity signature, you can see that here it is, some pretty deep reds. All right, so it's a pretty decently strong system, not very large by any means. All right, but here it is moving through South Carolina, through North Carolina, and it can still maintain some of its tropical vorticity strength. So we got to see some signatures here through the Carolinas into Virginia, and then it'll start to get a little bit of strength courtesy of that jet stream producing severe weather through parts of Texas. That video also on the top right corner of your screen. Severe weather for Texas potentially today. All right, now NAM model, in terms of surface wind, like I said, it may not be quite updated because their 12Z model runs do come out pretty early in the day compared to other models. But you can still see it winds above 30 knots here. Obviously, if it was a more better update, it would probably have more winds of 40 knots. But take a look down there to Texas. Some pretty strong winds there. It's like a little mini surface low. All right, but there it is. I mean, the storm is pretty much gone. It's moving up through West Virginia by this point. I mean, it is pretty much on out of here. All right, by 24 hours out. So at least this isn't like a Melda, tropical storm Melda that came on shore of Texas, had a 30% chance of development. All of a sudden, boom. All right, becomes a tropical storm, and then 15 minutes later, boom, makes landfall and 40 inches of rain. This won't be the case. However, we're still going to have some very heavy rainfall. South Carolina coastline, southern North Carolina coastline, we can see 2 to 4 inches of rainfall, and even an inch plus. Okay, moving all the way up through the Virginias, all the way up through eastern Ohio, we can still have an inch of rain plus. And because it's fast moving, it'll probably come in a short amount of time, so that could potentially mean some flooding. Here's a high resolution model, all right, and here it is making landfall on the coast of South Carolina there. All right, makes landfall, and we still have some very heavy rain. We still have actually some cells that are kind of attached to the storm system. All right, but you got your main load. There's not really an eye to the system. All right, and then there it is, moving up through northern South Carolina, up through parts of central North Carolina. It's still got tropical remnants, and it's still got some decent strength. All right, we could even have some isolated sea breeze thunderstorms actually forming behind the storm system. All right, so here, all right, here we have these surface winds. You can see right there, 34 knots is tropical, 35 knots. That is tropical storm status. So there's our tropical storm force winds right on that eastern side of the system. We're literally talking about 39 to 40 mile per hour winds. But if you look here, all right, getting a little stronger actually. So we got more 42 knots. So that's like 45 to 50 mile per hour winds as the storm is now coming on shore. Comes on shore, the winds will still be persisting coming out of the southeast. So potentially some coastal flooding for South and North Carolina. In terms of total precipitation, and let's skip to 24 hours here. South Carolina coastline could potentially have 6 to 10 inches of rainfall. I think the high resolution model is going a little high with that. All right, but still, very heavy rainfall South Carolina North Carolina border on that coastline there, and even 2 to 3 inches inland through parts of the mountains of western North Carolina. So this will be a big rainmaker either way. All right, here's the radar loop, and you can see we do have a special marine warning. We do have a loop there, so that special marine warning does mean we could spawn some tornadoes, all right, with this storm system. But very heavy rain, widespread yellows on the radar, meaning some pretty heavy rainfall. Rainfall that we have seen in 1 hour, rainfall rates have gotten over a half an inch an hour. All right, and this rainfall, it's gonna be this kind of storm where rainfall will stick around for a while, but it will be moving out pretty quickly. All right, it'll be sticking out for quite a few hours, but it won't be stalled out by any means. It will be on its way out of here pretty quickly. How much rain have we had so far? Rainfall has gotten as much as, I mean, when you look down just to the southwest of Charleston, over 2 to 3 inches of rain we've already had so far. All right, and I might be able to refresh that even more. I mean, this is updated, but let me just see. Yeah, pretty much the same. But Charleston, just southwest of town, we've had 2 inches of rain already with the storm system. We still have some time to go. So that's it for today's video. Thank you guys for watching. I am the Weather Dude, signing off. Until next time, catch you guys next video.